it's String here for day 67, 68, 69, and 70 of the 100 Days of Making Comics Challenge. Kind of backed up a bit here on the videos because of the move, which you may notice there's a different background behind me. If you ever watched my first 10 videos or whatever, when I was recording with my phone, and if you watch those videos, you may also notice that I'm not recording with my phone. I'm recording with a webcam that I picked up. Cheap little, not so great one, unfortunately. I thought it was much better until I started recording these. This is like my 5th attempt at doing this, because it's been fighting me all along the way. But I'm still hopeful for it. I wanted to kind of make things a little more personable, bring more of a face into my work. Because I know some YouTubers who do drawing videos have themselves in the corner while they're working, and I know a lot of the V100s folks primarily record themselves talking, where I primarily record me drawing the stuff, and I kind of wanted to make more of a mix of it, bring kind of myself into it a little more. We'll see how well this works. So far, it's been kind of a pain. But we'll see. I'm hoping to do more of this. Maybe I'll just use it for live streams, because I still want to get back into those. Which, being in the new place, might be a good chance for it. Mostly because the internet connection is amazing here. I'm rooming with a nerd. It helps. Which I am one too. But the big news is the move. That's what's been going on this last week. It was rushed, unfortunately, due to kind of circumstances, and I was planning on moving yesterday and today, my days off, but it ended up happening Tuesday before work, which, not the greatest, but I am glad that it happened that way now, because it gave me some time to kind of unpack and kind of organize, and I don't know, it was nice to have kind of that transition period. It made it a little easier, a little easier and a little harder, really. So it balances out. It's a great environment, great place, really close to family. I love it here so far. My roommate's a cool guy. I knew him a little bit going into this, but didn't know him that well. So this ought to be an interesting experience, but it should be fun, and hopefully it's a good environment to kind of improve myself and improve my art, which is kind of what I wanted to do lately. So, should be good. The only downsides are that it's far away from work and far away from my girlfriend, which is unfortunate, and it could have worked out better, but I'm hopeful that this will be a good experience, and that in the long run this will work out. And hopefully I'll find a job here. Who knows? But anyway, enough of me rambling and showing off my bad lighting skills and poor webcam. Let's move on to the artwork. Alright, so in theory, if this works how I want it to, I'll be in a corner of the screen with my little face here while all the drawing's going on, because I want to try it at the very least. I don't know how well this works, but yeah, we'll see. Doesn't hurt to try. Especially because these are kind of experimental videos in a way for the hundreds, because it's not like I'm doing it for the sake of the video, I'm doing it for the sake of the art. But yeah, I want to do something fun. So yeah, unfortunately, it's been kind of a struggle the last couple of days to draw anything. A lot of it has been working out quite as I wanted it to. It's just been a lot of... I've been fighting with myself a lot, really. Excuse me. Which is not, unfortunately, the best way to create art. At least not for me. But this first day here is one of the better ones. I pretty much just worked on the pose here, kind of refining and probably making the line work too smooth for now, but it's making me happy to do it like this, so I'm sticking with it. Whatever. I'll do however much detail I want, because it's my comic, and I want to make it and do it in a fun way. So yeah, the last few days have just been a lot of struggling with poses. This fight scene has been kind of a jerk. I didn't really plan it out all that well. I don't really know what to do. I don't read a lot of action comics, so I don't really know how to do fight scenes. There's a lot of stuff I don't understand going into this. And it clearly shows, unfortunately. But I think I'm in a better place now than I was, 4 days ago on the fight scene. Made some progress at the very least, despite a lot of this being redrawing poses. I think in the next day here, I end up trying to draw one panel the whole 30 minutes or something stupid like that. But yeah, this is something I realized when I was drawing this panel, was that this is a replica of the earlier panel of the dude getting punched in the face, but a reversal. So I thought maybe I should emphasize that and really, because I didn't realize I was stealing that panel until now. So I figured, well, maybe I should really steal it, really make it obvious that this is kind of reversal, because, well, it is a reversal. Spoilers. Because, yeah. Anyway, so I figured I'd work on that, and just the legs there, they just weren't working for me. So then here's the next day, where I think I kind of gave up on that panel for a while. Yeah, and I tried doing this panel here, which is the kind of aftermath of the punch. And for the life of me, I couldn't figure out how to get it to work. I couldn't figure out what pose I want. Because it's like a dramatic hook across the screen, and then you land dramatically off to the side and behind him, and then he turns around, and that's what I'm trying to convey, but it just was not working. I could not do it. And unfortunately, this is in the middle of all the hectic moves. I was just not in a good mood. I was not feeling it. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I tried my best, but unfortunately, it took until, I think I didn't get it until the most recent day. Sorry, it's a little hard to narrate over a week's worth of work. It kind of jumbles together. But yeah, this is pretty much just 30 minutes of I can't figure out this panel. Which, unfortunately, is very frustrating, especially when you're doing it essentially live, when you're being recorded, and you know people are going to see you struggle and fail to do any progress. It's not a good feeling. It makes it rough. And it's just kind of compounded by itself. So it's... I eventually just had to be like, alright, I'm done, went to sleep and tried it again the next day, and it started working at that point. Sometimes you just need to just have a good night's sleep and kind of get away from it all for a little bit before you kind of be able to solve the problem. While I still don't think I have it solved, I think it's much better than what it was there, which is pretty much me having a blank panel. Something else that I did over the last couple of days was rearrange the layout a little bit of some of these pages. They're not very I don't even know what I was saying there. They're not very dynamic, unfortunately. But I'm trying to be okay with that. I want to make them better, but I don't want to force myself to agonize over this fight scene for another week or two, like I already have been. I want to try and just get it done. But this is definitely the hardest part of the comic for me. Because it's a lot of different poses. I'm trying to be varied. I'm trying to not do the same pose, the same stance, the same style every panel, and it's not easy to force myself to use this much variety, which is good. I'm enjoying it in a way. It's frustrating, but it's like a challenge. It'll be figured out, hopefully. But I think at this point now, everything's pretty good. I'll just go back and kind of tomorrow try and refine them a little bit and just kind of settle for something. So here's another day where I decided to tackle this pose again. And eventually I should look up reference. How about that? Didn't help too much, but it gave me an idea of what to do with the legs. I'm trying to make it a stupid pose. I'm trying to make it really dramatic, like the legs going all the way, like crazy positions, and arm like coming through like this, and I don't know, just I'm trying to make it really exaggerated because that's fun. It's more interesting that way. I think I'm getting it. It's better than it was, for sure. And it still invokes that first punch scene on page 4, so, maybe if people are paying attention, they're like, hey, that seems familiar, and it kind of hints at stuff that's revealed, 3 pages later. So, not much of a foreshadowing, but, I'm kind of making this up as I'm going, and any sort of foreshadowing is probably going to be something like that. But yeah, then I tried tackling this kind of landing page again. It's kind of working at this point, because I realized that through this whole fight scene I've been really close up on them. Pretty much showing them from the waist up, sort of dodging and stuff like that. So I tried to zoom out a little bit and kind of show where they are in relation to the rest of the space. And then here, I started completely redrawing this page. This is the page where dude gets punched and the one punch starts destroying him somehow, some reason. And it was just kind of lame. He just kind of and flumped over and done. So I tried to make it more dramatic, and honestly, I wanted to make it more creepy, I guess, more kind of intense. So I put the crazy face and clawing at his face and screaming. I don't know if that conveys all that well, or if I should even do that, but I wanted to make it more overly dramatic to make that moment a little more intense when he claws and starts falling apart and he collapses in front of the dude and apparently dies. That's a hard thing for someone to see after all the shit they've already seen. All the stuff they've already seen. So I'm trying to make it more dramatic to make more sense why he freaks out in the next few pages and runs. So having someone, scream and claw their face off probably would freak you out. I don't know, it might be too much. We'll see. And yeah, I switched to that page because it made more sense now to have the panels in the other order. Yeah, it's hard to ramble for 12 minutes straight. I've noticed I'm not good at it. But here's the last day of the set, day 70. I didn't really know what to do. I was kind of just, I need to do something, so I just started refining. Nothing too much amazing, just refined some of it. Just kind of worked on this to make it a little more, I don't know, just trying to figure out what I'm doing with it. As it needs to be, dramatic, but not, over the top, because it's still a cartoony style I've got here. I don't want to suddenly have realistic sort of thing. So clearly I'm not. But I still want to have it have some sort of impact, so it's kind of a difficult balance. But yeah, this was kind of another uneventful day. I didn't try much new. I don't believe. I just kind of worked on refining what I had. Because by this point, I was kind of mentally exhausted with this fight scene, and with the move and everything. It's been a rough week. It'll be good moving forward, and it was a good week for sure, but tough. And this, okay, I forgot about this. This is something that was suggested by J. Allen. I can't remember her name. Sorry, I'm blanking. But from the Hundreds Facebook group, she was suggesting taking the panel out of that last panel on page 16. Making removing them from the containment, making them pop out and be a little more dramatic. And I like that idea. I don't know if I can pull it off, but I like it because it's something different. I need to have a little more variety, I feel. Which is, I think, part of the major struggle here. But we'll see. I like the suggestion. I want to try it. We'll see what I can do with it. Who knows? I might just actually pull out the main antagonist guy and make him seem much bigger than the other guy. But I don't know. So I'll have to try it. But this is pretty much wrapping up the long, absurd There we go. God, I can't think of words right now. I can't talk for 15 minutes straight. It doesn't work. My brain can't handle it. So luckily, this, reaching the end of this silly update. Uh, Sorry, it's kind of a weird one. I'm trying something new, and sorry it's like really long and rambly, but that happens. And hopefully, you guys don't mind it too much. And I appreciate all of you taking the time to watch my videos, especially long ones like this. So thank you very much, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you all on day 71.